Hello, everyone. I'm Dominique Johnson-Lindsey, and I want to welcome you to the Active Listener podcast by Lightspeed. As a lifelong learner and the daughter of a Navy veteran who became an elementary school teacher, education and service are in my DNA. This foundation, paired with my love of technology, led me to these conversations with remarkable minds shaping the K-12 landscape. Join us as we amplify these vital voices and explore how active listening remains foundational to educational excellence. Whether you're an educator, administrator, or someone passionate about the future of education, there's something here for you to learn. All right. Thanks, everybody, for coming back for another episode of the Active Listener podcast. Today is very interesting and super special. So I have a really extra special guest joining me today. She is an incredible first grade teacher in the Birmingham City school system, but she is also my mom. So I want to welcome Regina Johnson. If you heard the intro of the podcast, she is who I'm talking about. So she is a Navy veteran turned school teacher. And thank you for joining me, Mom.
You're welcome, Dominique.
So I want to keep this very light, but of course, I thought it would be really great to kind of combine the fact that you are a mom with the whole idea of education. So what I want to talk about a little bit is just starting at the beginning. I kind of know this, but I would love for you to say what made you choose teaching, and then specifically, why did you choose working with elementary school kids?
Okay, the reason I became an elementary school teacher is because when Dominique was a little bitty baby girl, I figured like when she's in school, I'm in school, and when she's out of school, I'm out of school. And so that's one reason I chose teaching. And I just figured the smaller kids would be better for me because of my personality and stuff. I just love them. They're easier to deal with a little bit.
Yes, that makes total sense, which is funny that you say, like, easier to deal with, because one of the questions I have here is, of course, you being my mom, I know how tight of a ship you run, but at the same time, it's always a lot of fun with you, and so I feel like I have always seen that in your classroom with your kids. Y'all do lots of dancing, you do lots of giveaways, y'all have lots of treats. Oh my God, it's always some chaos going on in your classroom. That's kind of what I feel like. With that, why do you feel like it's important to kind of balance out kind of the discipline and instruction and learning side of things with just like having fun in the classroom?
Well, I think because first you have to have discipline. You got to keep things in order so they can learn. But when it's just too strict, no one's having fun. So you have to like have fun. If they interested, they like it, then they'll perform for you. And then I think when they don't really like it, if you that they're not having fun, you're not having fun. So it makes it kind of hard. So I think the discipline helps it keep because they know like if they act up, they might not get to do this. Or if they do this, they can't do that. So, and I try to teach them that, there's always a consequence for their action.
That makes a lot of sense. So tell me, I feel like you got so many. What is your favorite like thing to do to have fun in your classroom?
I like to do brain breaks and the dancing brain breaks. I like to listen to music. So listen to music a lot. We dance a lot. We start our day out with music. So,
This is so hilarious to me because I know that it's all stuff that you love. Obviously, one side of this is talking through like instruction and just understanding more about learning. And something that I've understood not only from my role here at Lightspeed, but of course, seeing you is the need for small group learning and just like interventions with kids because ultimately they're kids that just kind of need more help. And so, talk to me about like, I feel like this is a staying thing in your classroom. Like as much as things have changed, that's one of the things that I feel like has remained constant. Like we have to do small groups, we have to have intervention. Talk to me about why you think they're so important.
Well, I think, small group is important because it give you a chance to talk not just with your struggling learners, but, like, some if you just have a quiet student who really don't like to talk, I guess maybe they're shy or something, but in that small group where it's just you and him or her or a couple more kids, they tend to open up a little bit more. It also helped them, like, a lot of kids don't like to speak and don't like to be seen, they fall back in the background, and so small group really help those students learn, and then it also target a skill that they need. So I think small group and intervention is important, it and it needs to be done consistently, though.
Gotcha. So, something that comes to mind for me just thinking through, like, all of the different things that kids are required to do in the classroom. There's the opposite side of it. That's everything that y'all are required to do, and I know it is a lot. What do you think is a common misconception, or what do you wish that other people knew, whether it's parents or just other stakeholders? What do you wish they knew about what you all are doing every day as teachers in the classroom?
Oh, wow. I think I would want them to know that they have to, like, keep it fun even though they, like, want everything so structured, that they have to still let school be fun, and like I said earlier, if the kids are having fun, they're gonna perform for you. And when they're not, having as much fun, they don't perform as well. And I want them also to know that teachers do get stressed out also because of the high demand. And I know everybody like, oh, well, you just the teacher, you just teach. But we really do wear a lot of different hats. And so I don't want them to like, I think one thing they get bogged down on at this time, you gotta be here. At this time, you gotta do this. At this time, you gotta do that. And I think they need to be a little bit more flexible. So, like, when a stakeholder or a parent come in or you don't get to this, it's okay. Let them know it's okay. We'll get to it later because at that time, we didn't need to get to that. We needed to do this because, meltdowns happen, especially with first grade. We have a lot of meltdown. We be very tired. We haven't decided if we're a morning type person or a night type person. So kids come in and they really do be tired some days. And I just really need the parents, the administrators, and people to know it's okay if we just have a relaxed day today. We don't always have to be
On it, on it, on it.
on it, on it, on it.
So, something something to segue from that, because one, I do agree with everything you're saying. Obviously, I think that kind of applies to any work environment. I tell you that all the time. You know, everybody wants the opportunity for flexibility, but that lends way to something else that is a thought process, and that is change. So I feel like change is very hard for most people, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So one thing that I know changed in your classroom since I've been working at Lightspeed is that you now have a Lightspeed system in your classroom. Obviously, you got it through the donation program, but I do feel like that was a bit of change for you. So talk to me about, what the experience was like, you know, pretty much deciding to use the microphone and why you continue to use it every day.
Okay, well, before I got my microphone, I was yelling and screaming and talking really loud, just like people could hear my voice. That's how loud I used to scream. But now that I have my system, th they be like, "Miss Johnson, we don't even hardly hear you anymore. We don't even hardly hear me." So I wear it every day so my kids can hear me, they hear me better. I think they really listen to me more when I do have it on vice, when I don't wear, 'cause, like the other day, I forgot on Friday when I left, I forgot to put it on the charger. So Monday when I came, it was dead to charged up some. And then I had to like raise my voice. And I just don't think they pay attention as much. So it really has helped with like the classroom management, with my voice being lower, because I know that was one of my complaints all the time when they were like, "Miss Johnson, we heard you. You're very loud. You're very loud." So now that I use my microphone, people don't even really hear me anymore. So that's one thing that's really helped me to use my regular, normal voice tone by screaming and yelling all the time.
Love it. And I mean, that's the overall, like, goal for us at Lightspeed. But of course, I know you've been teaching for a really long time without one. So to see you use it every day, of course, it makes me so, so happy. But also, I feel like you are getting the actual benefits of it, which is the most important thing to me, is because we think that the benefits, or we know that the benefits far exceed, just us looking good. It's about you having your voice, but not being strained, as well as the kids being able to hear. I know your classroom has a lot of movement, so them being able to kind of hear wherever they're moving around to. So I think all that is, great, and it makes me really happy. So only got a couple more questions. One is just more reflective, and that is kind of bridging the two areas between being a parent and being a teacher. What do you feel like you brought from each one into the other space? So, like, what do you think you brought from being a teacher, like, to parenting me and Tran? And then what do you think you brought from being a parent into the classroom?
Oh, wow. What I brought to my classroom as a parent, I really do try to treat each one of my students as they were my own. I don't treat them any different. And I like, so when I discipline them, I'd be like, these are the same things I told Dominique and Trini. I wouldn't tell you anything different. This is what we do. This is how we do it. And so trying to get them into that routine, like, I don't treat you any way that I didn't treat them. I don't tell you this advice that I didn't tell my girls. I say, "You can call and ask them." I told them that. And so and then but bringing things home from my students to you all, I just think I want you and Trini to know, like, even though, like, the kids, like, sometimes have a difficult environment that they live in. And so I want you all to know that, like, just stay humble and help when you can. Help these people. Even though, like, I know sometimes we think, oh, no, they got this or they got that, but I want you to understand that all people don't. So when you see have children of your own, like Aiden, sometimes send a little bit extra cause a child in her school or class might not have, or the teacher might need a little help here or there. So I always like try to volunteer, even though most teachers will be like, "No, I got it, I got it." But just to know that you offered to help makes teacher feel good.
That's true. I love it. All right. So we are winding down. Uh,
Okay.
I have two questions I ask to everyone that joins the podcast because I don't know, I just think they're so fun. So, question number one is,
Okay.
if you could remove any barrier in the world for children, what would it be?
Oh God, that is so hard. Any barrier in the world for children. What would think I would remove being in a more systematic society. Like, for example, and maybe that's not the right words, but I think I would want to move like, if you know, I want them to be able to meet benchmarks and move on. I don't think it's like keeping a kid, like, just because their age is 7, keep them with the 7-year-old. If they mature enough, and some of them are, and some of them not, I think they should be able to move on and not, you know, or at least be able to skill, because I know a lot of schools are moving away from that. skipping and stuff. But if you right here and you meet that benchmark, let you go so you can fly and be, but and then on the other side of that though, even if you can fly, but you don't have like the social skills, maybe you should, stay back a little bit, but still be able to do other higher work or something like that. I don't know. That's a hard question. That's a hard question. What do you remove? Oh no.
Okay, and then my last question is, what is your favorite sound in the whole world?
Favorite sound in the whole maybe some instruments like drums and saxophone.
Okay, we'll take it. That's a unique answer. I don't think we've got that specific. We have had instrumentation before, but not that specific. So,
Yeah.
well, Mother, I thank you so much for joining me today, all your busy day in your classroom to talk to me. I really appreciate you joining. And honestly, it's also like Teachers Appreciation. So I really do want to thank you for all the work that you do. I'm not just saying it because you're my mom, but I do think elementary school teachers are so valuable. They are the foundation for all the other things that we do beyond that. So thank you.
You are welcome anytime.
That's all for today's Active Listener. Thanks for tuning in. Share your comments on this episode on our Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn social media pages. You can visit our website at lightspeed-tech.com to learn more about our mission to ensure every student hears every word. And subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Until next time, let your listening be as active as your learning.